There is a moment when your mind becomes your own enemy. You replay a conversation from 3 days ago. You imagine everything that could go wrong tomorrow. You analyze one decision from every possible angle. And somehow, after thinking for hours, you are no closer to an answer. You are simply more exhausted. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Overthinking doesn't always mean you're solving a problem. Sometimes, you're just suffering from a problem repeatedly in your imagination. And the Stoics understood something powerful about this. They knew that the mind can create pain without anything actually happening. Epictetus taught that we are disturbed not simply by events, but by the judgments we make about them. And modern therapy has discovered practical skills that can help us interrupt this cycle. Today, we're going to combine those psychological skills with ancient Stoic wisdom. 6 powerful skills. And stay until the 6th, because the final skill changes the way you deal with uncertainty itself. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Wisdom Unbounding World. This channel is about solving modern-day problems using Stoicism. So let's begin. Rule 1. Separate facts from stories. The first skill is simple, but incredibly powerful. Separate what happened from what your mind says it means. Imagine you send someone a message. They don't reply. That's the fact. But your mind immediately starts writing a story. Maybe they're angry. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe they don't respect me. Maybe I've ruined the relationship. Notice what happened. One fact created 10 imaginary situations. This is where overthinking begins. The Stoics would tell you to return to what is actually within your experience. Marcus Aurelius repeatedly reminded himself to see things as they are, rather than adding unnecessary judgments. So whenever your mind starts spiraling, ask, what do I actually know? Not, what could happen? Not, what does this probably mean? But, what do I know for certain right now? Write down the facts. Then write down your interpretation. You'll often discover that your suffering is coming from the second column. The event is one thing. Your story about the event is another. And once you learn to separate them, your mind becomes quieter. Rule 2. Challenge the thought instead of obeying it. Your thoughts can sound extremely convincing, but a thought is not automatically a fact. Therapy often uses cognitive restructuring to examine unhelpful thinking patterns. Stoicism teaches something remarkably similar. Question your judgments. Suppose your mind says, I'm going to fail. Stop. Ask, what evidence proves that? Then ask, what evidence proves otherwise? Your mind might say, everyone is judging me. Ask, do I actually know that? Your mind says, this mistake ruined everything. Ask, is everything truly ruined, or am I exaggerating this moment? This doesn't mean pretending everything is positive. Stoicism isn't blind optimism. It's disciplined thinking. You're not replacing a negative thought with a fake positive thought. You're replacing an exaggerated thought with a more accurate one. Instead of, I always fail, say, I failed at this particular attempt, and I can learn from it. Instead of, everything is going wrong, say, one part of my life is difficult right now. That small change matters. Because your mind often turns one event into an identity. Don't allow it. Question the thought. Examine it. Then decide whether it deserves your attention. Rule 3. Stop arguing with uncertainty. This may be the most important skill for chronic overthinking. Accept that some questions will remain unanswered. The human mind hates uncertainty, so it tries to eliminate it. But every answer creates another question. What if they don't like me? What if I make the wrong decision? What if something goes wrong? What if I regret it? You can spend your entire life trying to predict a future that hasn't happened. The Stoics had a better approach. They focused on what could be controlled now. Seneca understood that much of our anxiety comes from suffering over possibilities rather than realities. So when uncertainty appears, don't ask, how can I guarantee that nothing goes wrong? Ask, if something goes wrong, how will I respond? That's a completely different mindset. You don't need certainty to have courage. You don't need guarantees to move forward. You need trust in your ability to respond. Tell yourself, I don't know what will happen, but I know I can meet whatever happens with reason. That is Stoic strength. Not controlling the future, but controlling yourself inside the future. Rule 4. Bring your attention back to the present. Overthinking lives in 2 places, the past and the future. The past says, I should have said something different. The future says, what if everything goes wrong? And meanwhile, your actual life is happening right now. Therapeutic mindfulness techniques teach you to notice thoughts without becoming trapped inside them. The Stoics practiced a similar discipline of returning attention to the present moment and the task immediately in front of them. So when your mind begins racing, don't fight every thought. Notice it. Say, I'm having the thought that something will go wrong. Then bring your attention back. Look around the room. Notice your breathing. Feel your feet against the ground. Focus on the task in front of you. If you're eating, eat. If you're working, work. If you're speaking with someone, listen. Your mind doesn't need to solve your entire life tonight. It only needs to handle this moment. Remember, you cannot live tomorrow today, and you cannot change yesterday by replaying it. You only have access to this moment. Use it. Rule 5. Turn rumination into action. Here's one of the biggest differences between productive thinking and overthinking. Productive thinking leads to action. Overthinking leads to repetition. You think about the same problem for an hour, but nothing changes. So whenever you notice yourself repeating the same thoughts, ask, is there an action I can take right now? If yes, take it. If you're worried about an exam, study for 30 minutes. If you're worried about your finances, review your expenses. If you're worried about an apology, write it. If you're worried about your health, take the next healthy action. Turn thought into movement. Marcus Aurelius didn't spend his life merely thinking about virtue. He repeatedly reminded himself to act, because wisdom without action becomes another form of procrastination. And here's the powerful test. If there is something you can do, do it. If there is nothing you can do, release it. This creates a simple mental filter. Action or acceptance, not endless rumination. Rule 6. Practice radical acceptance. Now we reach the final skill. And this is where Stoicism becomes incredibly powerful. Accept what you cannot control without surrendering your character. Acceptance does not mean liking everything that happens. It doesn't mean becoming passive. It means refusing to waste your energy fighting reality after reality has already arrived. Someone rejected you. It happened. You made a mistake. It happened. Someone misunderstood you. It happened. The past cannot be negotiated with. You can learn from it. You can repair what can be repaired. But you cannot make reality different by mentally replaying it 1,000 times. Epictetus divided life into what is within our control and what isn't. Your actions are yours. Your judgments are yours. Your choices are yours. But other people's opinions, the past, the future, and countless external events are not completely yours to command. So say to yourself, I accept what happened. Now what is the wisest thing I can do? That sentence can interrupt an enormous amount of suffering, because acceptance closes the argument with reality. And once you stop arguing with reality, you finally have energy to improve it. The daily Stoic overthinking exercise. So let's put all 6 skills together. Whenever you notice yourself overthinking, pause. First, separate facts from stories. What actually happened? Second, challenge the thought. Is this thought accurate or exaggerated? Third, accept uncertainty. Do I actually need an answer right now? Fourth, return to the present. What is happening in this exact moment? Fifth, take useful action. Is there something I can do? And sixth, accept what I cannot control. Can I release what belongs to fate? Practice this every day, not once, not only when you're overwhelmed. Every day, because mental strength isn't built during the crisis. It's built through repeated practice before the crisis arrives. And remember something important. Your goal isn't to have a mind that never produces negative thoughts. That's impossible. Your goal is to become someone who doesn't automatically believe every thought that appears. Thoughts can knock on the door without being invited inside. Your mind is powerful, but if you don't learn how to guide it, it will guide you. It will take one mistake and turn it into shame, one uncertainty and turn it into fear, one conversation and turn it into 1,000 imaginary explanations. But you have a choice. You can become a prisoner of your thoughts, or you can become the observer of them. The Stoics didn't promise a life without problems. They offered something far more valuable, a mind that doesn't collapse every time life becomes uncertain. So the next time you catch yourself overthinking, don't ask, how do I make this thought disappear? Ask, what is this thought asking me to do? If action is required, act. If acceptance is required, accept. If neither is required, let the thought pass. You don't have to solve every possibility your mind creates. You don't have to understand everything immediately, and you certainly don't have to suffer over events that haven't happened. Your life is happening now. come back to it. If this video gave you a new way to look at overthinking, please like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and subscribe to Wisdom Unbounding World for more Stoic wisdom for modern life. And I want to ask you one question. What is one thought you keep overthinking that you know you need to let go of? Write it in the comments. Sometimes, putting a thought into words is the first step toward becoming free from it. Until next time, control your mind, accept what you cannot control, and live with intention.